Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to our first Shotsukihoyo for the New Year 2025. And as always, we have a warm welcome for Reverend Tani Fujimoto, who will be officiating and will be delivering the Dharma message for today's service. We will begin with quiet meditation. Sensei will ring the bell to start the meditation, and will end with the bell ringing as well. Adrian Gasher.
Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please all rise for the opening gatha, Peace in a Sea, in the White Book, page 110. Page 110. In the Brown Book, page 10, the three treasures. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can only be relied on in life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path of my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become the Buddha. I rely on the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is as deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, with all sentient beings, become one Sangha life, able to move forward and live the dynamic spirit that is as deep and within. The unsurpassed, deep, and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter. But now I am able to experience and enhance it. May I come to understand and revere the meaning of the topic. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu. Our service today, the Shotsukihoyo service, is held in observance of all of those family members, relatives, and friends that we have lost during the month in which it is observed. Today's January's honorees will now be read. And for all of those family members, relatives, and friends who are observing Shotsuki today, please come forward to a shoko during the reading of the honorees. Noburo Furusho, Leroy Gunnels, Ayako Hayashi, Yonezo Ishizu, Fuji Ishizu, Masayo Ito, Tokizo Kimura, Fukuichi Kunimoto, Seiso Kunimoto, James Taro Matsushi Shikai, Suzuki Morikawa, Saihachi Murakami, Shinran Murakami, Fujino Otani, Eddie Peterson, Teruo Shinotsuka, Tammy Kakinaga, Kisaichi Ueda, Barry Yasuda, Perry Yasuda, Taichi Yoshioka, Yuka Matoba, Fuji Murakami Katatani, Shinako Iwamura, Unichi Yasuda, Hiroshi Kawahara, Asayo Kawaoka, Itsuko Hamamoto, George Kazuo Okazaki, Alejo Bunyan, Kenzo John Okazaki, James Roitsu Yamasaki, Yasu Kawase, Ayako Shimizu, Dennis Jilka, George Kimura, Gengo Taichi, Yaichi Okamoto, Suiyu Kwon, Ruth Hiraga, Ted Hiraga, Shizuyo Kunimoto, Il Shimizu, Isao Shimizu, Dr. Tetsuro Fuji, Tsuneo Moriki, Marcus Anderson, Marie Sugiyama, Tom Yoneda, Mei Yamaoka, Jin Ukaida, Teruo Taniguchi, Tsutomu Taniguchi. Minoru Matsuda, Taichi Matsuda. Thank you. Reverend Fujimoto will now begin with Sanju Bo, the three respectful callings on page 24 of the Purple Book, and the Sutra chanting the Amida Kyo, the first half, Purple Book, page 93. Is it 103? 103. Amida Kyo in the Purple Book, page 103. Sorry.
on this occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of January, members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages, Namo Butsu, Namo Ho, Namo So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo
Shakko, Byakushiki Byakko, Mimyoko, 月舎利法国ら国土長寿尿税空毒将軍武者利法義部国土調査見学法上維持昼夜六時二遊曼荼羅系広告宗教上位小丹各位英国同宗教系空用大法十万六仏即位時期検討本国本時教業者利法国ら国土長寿尿税空毒将軍武士者利法一国上長寿奇妙雑誌市長学校学法務者利他領民が官僚市場税商出張長夜六時水和芸音同音延長合根合力死亡大分発祥同分納税同法合同修上本税音に開出念仏念法念祖さり法の持つ意思上実税最高少々総意者が異部国土無三幕衆さり法合部国土総無三幕同士の画教部実税書修長改正阿弥陀仏欲量法川柳変化調査さり法義部国土未付水道総法50有用らも水未妙未妙百千十角当時空三本税恩者開示年上念仏年法年少死心者利用大部国土長寿尿税空毒将
The Dharma message this afternoon will be delivered by Reverend Fujimoto.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Always nice to join you you for this Shotsuki service, and especially first one of the year. So Happy New Year to all of you. I think it's always special. Additional people come for the Shotsuki service, and sometimes they come quite a ways. And so it's nice to see families coming and encouraging other family members to join them to come to this special service. So it's always very touching. Today I wanted to share a story about a sensei when he was leading Hoji, family memorial at the home of a member. So years ago, there's a professor you call Fujimoto, no connection to me, but he was at the Ryukoku University in Kyoto, and very well-known, acclaimed scholar and author. And so he had come to the United States to spend some time at the Institute of Buddhist Studies to teach some of the classes to the students that were there. And while he was staying, a family asked him if he had the time to come to their home to lead a family memorial. And he checked his schedule and said, "Oh, yes, I can make it." And so they were so happy, very, very happy. So arrangements were made, and they set up their home altar, fresh flowers and offerings of fruits and rice and things like this, and cleaned it nicely, candle and all these things, preparing for the sensei to come to their home. And so they were just excited on somebody so well known and accomplished as Reverend Fujimoto was going to come and lead service in their own home. So the sensei came and he led the sutra chanting at the altar, and for the Dharma message he used a very well-known passage from Genshin. So at many of our Jodo Shinshu temples, there's 2 sub-altars on each side, right? So next to Shinran would be Prince Shotoku, next to Renyo would be the 7 masters, okay? We don't have that here, but if you were to look at the 7 masters, the bottom 2 are from Japan, okay? So there's Genshin and then Genku. Genshin, Genku. So Genku, his other name is Honen, right? So this is the direct teacher of Shinran Shonin, and opposed to him is Genshin, who this passage is from. So I'll talk a little bit more about them in a minute, but this is a quote that was used. "Listen, all sentient beings, excluding birth in the 3 evil realms, the realm of hell, realm of hungry ghosts, realm of brute animals. To be born a human is a great joy, no matter how humble your position in life. It is not inferior to that of a brute animal. Regardless of how poor your family, it is wealthier than that of a hungry ghost. Although all your wishes may not be realized, your life does not have the suffering to be experienced in hell." So this is the quote that he used that was written by Genshin. Okay? So in the quote, Genshin is saying that to be born as a human being is so special. Okay? Even if we have a lower or humble social position, still better than being an ox or a mule plowing the fields day after day after day. Okay? And even if our family is considered poor, we are still probably much better off than the hungry ghosts that are depicted. And if we don't receive everything in our lives, still, it's not like we're suffering in some kind of hell. Okay? So even though there are these other conditions, comparatively, the human life is something that should be considered very, very precious. And so this is the point he was trying to make. As human beings, we can hear the Dharma, we can come to the temple, have our friends, Sangha members, striving to attain the Pure Land, attaining enlightenment, becoming a Buddha. Okay? So all of these things should be very much appreciated. So this is what he was describing and talking about to this family. Okay, so a little bit more about Genshin and Genku. Genshin, he wrote this thing called the Ojo Yoshu and describes all the different realms of hell. He describes, in his writing, he describes the beauty of the Pure Land and the terrible aspects of the realms of hell. And in writing it so descriptively, people came to know about his writings and did not want any part of going to hell. Okay, so and on the opposite end of that, all the more striving to attain a peaceful life, getting to the Pure Land. And so this is part of early Nembutsu teachings. And so in this, when you would, Nembutsu is more of a meditation to consider Amida coming to you in your vision, okay? Meeting Amida. So it's more of a meditative practice, okay? So this is during the time of Genshin. So they even have plays of this. Professor Mark Blum showed us pictures, slides that he went to, I think it's a Tendai temple, but very elaborate play that they put on. I don't know how often they do it, but in their staging area, these levels of, from the heavens, these bodhisattvas come down to meet the person who is on his deathbed and leading him back to meet Amida and to be born into the Pure Land. So a very descriptive, very pretty image that they're showing when they do this. Okay? So at the time of Genshin, it's like a meditative practice. And when Genku Honen read all the writings of Genshin, he's reading these meditative practices, and how he understood it is that reciting the Nembutsu is most effectual because anybody could do it, okay? Not just a few who could do this visualizing meditation, but anyone could recite the Nembutsu. So it's more compassionate because it opens the teaching to everyone, anyone, and not just a few elite people. Okay? So this is the direction that Honen took the teachings, and this aspect of the teachings is what he shared with Shinran Shoni. So this is, because of this, the Nembutsu teaching was able to grow and grow because it could touch everybody and anybody, kind of the grassroots movement. Okay. So back to the story. So as he told the story to the family and told this story about how special it is to be born human, that we should be so appreciative of living this life as human beings, to listen to the Dharma and to take advantage of these opportunities. And after he finished his talk, he asked, are there any questions? Do you have any questions on this story? And as he said that, the elder gentleman, the head of the household, he raised his hands and thank you, Sensei, for this talk that you gave. I'm so grateful to have heard it. And then he says, oh, I left out one part of the story. As he's telling and how to avoid the hells, he says, we are so fortunate to be able to hear the Dharma. People who are even deaf are not able to hear the Dharma. So even compared to them, we are so fortunate. And as the head of the household is saying, he's so thankful, grateful for hearing this story. He says, Sensei, my daughter is a deaf mute. She cannot hear, she cannot speak. And so the Sensei, he thought, oh my goodness, of all the stories I could have told, I tell this story about a deaf mute not being able to hear the Dharma, and in this family, they have such a person in their family. So he is kind of beating himself up inside, thinking, oh no, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have told this story. But as he was thinking this, the head of the household is going on and on. She's so unfortunate that she is not able to speak or hear. And just like you said, I'm so lucky. I can hear, and I'm not the best person. I don't go to all the services. I don't pay attention as much as I should. But because you told this story, I can understand. When I look at my daughter now, I think of her, and she's my teacher. She's my Buddha. And so thank you so much for sharing this teaching with me, sharing this story with me. So he was so touched in the sense that, he was ready to kick himself for telling such a story. But as he's describing it, he says, now I believe that my daughter is really the Buddha. And so how lucky I am to be able to hear and to be able to pay attention to the teachings when I come across. And this is how wonderful. Namo, Amida, Butsu. Namo, Amida, Butsu. So when we think about this story, some people might have reacted differently. Some might have felt slighted. Now, how dare you talk about someone who is handicapped? My own daughter is such a person, and you bring up their disabilities and their, what they are incapable of. But he took it as a message just for himself. Okay? He should listen more. He should try harder. And so he should come to the temple and listen to the teachings. And the sensei is right. I'm not realizing how precious my life opportunity is. And so this is what he was trying to point out, and he felt fortunate that this particular listener, the head of the household, was able to hear it as he had expected it to be heard. So he became very happy about that. Okay. So that's my story for today. And during our New Year service, there's another story kind of connected to this. And Renyo Shoni, who we have on this side, he was describing when he was a sensei at his temple, one of the members came up to him and said, Sensei, when I listen to the Dharma message at the temple, as you're speaking, I feel so reverent and humbled, but when I leave, as soon as the service is over, I forget all about it. My mind is like a basket trying to hold water. When the water comes in, it just rushes out the bottom, right? So how many people might feel like that? I'm one. I like this story because I'm the one that listens like that. And I was telling our members in Alameda, I can remember when I must have been 15, 16 years old, driving home from Oakland Temple to San Leandro. My mother's driving and I'm sitting with her. My brother wasn't there, so he must have gone away to college. So I must have been 15, 16. And so as we're driving by the Oakland Coliseum or something, so what did Sensei talk about today? I don't know. And so Yamaoka Sensei was a sensei then, and none of it stayed, right? Don't you remember what he said? So, no, I don't remember. So didn't he talk about this? Oh yeah. And didn't he talk about this? Oh yeah. But initially, what did Sensei say? I don't know. So just like a basket dipped into the water, all the Dharma just flows right out the bottom. So when that student said that to Renyo, he says he should dip the whole basket
into the water. Not pour water in, put the whole basket into the water. That means immerse ourselves in the Dharma, immerse ourselves in the service, in the teachings. Okay? So, I think we can't help it. We forget as soon as we go and eat, we're thinking about food, talking about food. We go home, we're talking about the Warriors or the football game. We forget all about anything Dharma related, right? So we're more like pouring water in the basket, letting it all go out, right? So I think it's a good story for the New Year's to remind ourselves how to listen and to continue to come to listen to the Dharma, listen to the teachings, and at least we can be a little bit damp of the Dharma, right? So in this particular story, he was so touched that talking about his hardships, his deaf-mute daughter, but she became the Buddha. And we have such people in our families. There are Buddhas in our families. There are teachers in our families and in our friends. So all of these that we should be very grateful for. Good teachings, good teachers, good friends. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Kamanda. Right, thank you.
Very thought-provoking for each of us, Sensei. Thank you. Let's all rise now for closing gatha. Hotoke no Kodomo in the Brown Book, page 115. And we will do just the 2 Japanese verses only. 115 in the Brown Book. This will conclude today's Shotsukihoyo service, and I would like to thank George Thao for ringing the concho and for preparing the liturgy. And to the Toban, Lauren, Linda, and Helen at the January Toban for their flowers and the offering. Music by Dr. Kent, and the videography and editing of this service by Ty. Thank you all very much. And thank you also for the Dharma message, Sensei. And Sensei will now proceed with the installation of the Enmanji Temple 24, 25, 26 board members. So all of the board members, please prepare to come forward.
Okay, we're going to have an installation of the Temple Board of Directors. Please come up. I'll read your names. Donna Fujino, and stay up here, please. John Furukawa, Julene Leach, Tai Long, Kent Matsuda, Cynthia Nakatani, Diane Ono, Claire Shimizu, George Thao, Mike Ueda, Amy Wakayama, Carolyn Yamasaki. And we have advisors to the board, Ray Yamasaki, Tomio Iwamoto, Kinu Iwamoto, Keiko Furusho, Lauren Yamasaki. Oh, I'm sorry, Lauren Miyazaki. Go ahead.
Can you turn towards the altar? Yes.
No wonder we have such nice attendance today. You have been selected by your peers to serve in the leadership capacity for the Enmanji Buddhist Temple for the upcoming term. As leaders of your temple, you are reminded to keep the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, in mind at all times. As long as you do so, the welfare of the temple will be in good hands. We elevate each of the three treasures above personal concerns and model this behavior for the benefit of our fellow temple members. Please repeat after me. I put my faith in Buddha.
I put my faith in Buddha.
I put my faith in Dharma.
I put my faith in Dharma.
I put my faith in Sangha.
I put my faith in Sangha.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namo Amida. Please turn and face the Sangha. Thank you and congratulations. Please welcome our new officers. Okay, picture. They look good.
Congratulations, and we looking forward to each of you leading the Enmanji Temple forward for the next 2 years. Congratulations. Good luck. This concludes the service for today, including the installation. But are there any additional announcements to be made? If not, then we'll go next door for food. We have some light refreshments, and we can all get to meet the board and have a little chat and congratulate.
Barbara?
Yes.
Can I just say one thing? After refreshments, the plan is to set up the hall for the Saturday potluck. So if any of you can stay a little bit after the refreshment time, we would appreciate that, okay? So, okay, so that's after the refreshment.
We will see everybody after the refreshments as well. Thank you, everyone, and a Happy New Year.